Eric Muadeth, Muadeth.com. As a follow-up to the previous video and also as a response to a question, let's take a look here at the question being that if we take this break and then there is a line we can draw from here, which should be something like that. The question is, during this breakout here, just above the blue line, could one have gone long? And the question to me, okay, in this particular example, I think it almost answers itself, because you can see in this instant it did not work out. Now keep in mind that, let me take all that, keep in mind that this move here took place in about, for the most part, at the open. So you are coming in late, the market opens and starts, screaming to the upside on this day. So most of the move is already in play by the time you look at this. And I think the answer to your question is no. And here's why. Because of course you can see, number one, if you just had drawn a line, you would have seen that even if you took the trade, you'd be walking into resistance, which is here. And that was correct. So there was little upside, in my opinion, in this particular example. And also keep in mind that whenever we are trading and looking for turn signals, we are always looking for that uniform action. So if we take this line here and draw the potential breakout, and in fact I wouldn't even call it a breakout, I would hesitate to call it that. It's just a line where you expect resistance, because now keep in mind this line is for sell signal. So anything that shows uniform activity above the break line and back below it, and right here we can see uniform activity again above the blue line and back below it, which is a sell signal, which is exactly what happened. So the answer is no. There could be situations that where markets could break short-term break signals. For example, I think I know where you're going with this. If we took a line here and let's draw the break line, now it is not out of the realm of possibility, in fact it happens a lot, that the market actually started moving higher and the price here eventually moved higher, and that would have been, on hindsight, a short-term breakout level. Yes, I can see that argument, but until you see it happen, and in fact since you are looking for resistance, keep in mind in this example the blue line is resistance. It's not a breakout line, it is a line based on the previous break. So it's a break signal line and not necessarily a buy signal line, even though I get your point that if it breaks out above the blue line, maybe it's a buy. Now, so that was one layer of resistance, and there's also, you can also see that had you drawn a line connecting recent RSI highs, again you ran into immediate resistance. So let me change colors here. In fact, let me show you the problem here. So if you draw the line like that, the question is, at the point where the market moved slightly above the blue line, was that a buy? But the problem is, if you take now the top side, the recent highs, and extend them, these 2 points, and extend them again, you see that your stock ran into immediate trouble because it hit that level, and as you can see, you got resistance again. So no, based on the short-term resistance, I think that was basically a situation where you had no reason to go along, based on the fact that most of the move was already taking place, and you are also running into multiple levels of resistance. So I personally would say no. And again, just to be clear, there's 3 lines here to consider. So there is the top side resistance line, and then there's the other line. Let me change colors here. There is a back test line. In fact, let's go this way here, because we used blue. I guess I can draw it a little bit higher. So there's that resistance line, and any type of uniform action above the line and back below it would be a sell signal. And then there's also another line. So let's change colors here to, okay, let's go with black. And there's another level of resistance, which is the back test line there. So all those lines were coming in contact right there immediately after this move here. So no, there was no entry, in my opinion. And as an example, let's take a look at the S&P 500 right now. Just want to show you here on the SPX on the daily, a couple of observations. So today the market is having a nice move, and you can see that if we take a look at this break, now let's find out where this break began. We're just going to research where this break began. You can see the break took place here. We can draw a line. Now this is slightly adjusting the way we draw the line, but it is still legit, because if we draw a line somewhere around there, which just happens to be slightly above the 50, you can see resistance previously here at the highs of January, and coming back to test the same red line. So now somebody could say, okay, Eric, but I want to go along the market. And you might say that, let's say at the open of the next session, which is tomorrow, if the market was to clear that line here, would that be a buy signal? So that's the question, right? It's the same situation with the previous one, only that this one is a daily. And I think I see multiple reasons why you should be very skeptical of this trade, because on this daily chart you can clearly see that there are a couple of things that come into play. If you draw a couple of lines, the market starts telling you what's going on. Take a look at this line, which is a break signal here. This break signal was at the beginning of this year. Extend that line, and there you have it. So there is a hidden sell signal again. There was a backtest failure on that line there, and again coming back there. So that could be a problem. That's number one. Let's take a look at line number 2. Let's take a look at a red line, and this connects to the previous highs on the RSI. If I extend this, and more so if I extend it like that, and you can see there was a slight breakout here that began this nice move from here to here. Now I would rather be long this nice daily upswing because of that breakout. Now the red line, if you extend it, you can see that coming into late December, it was resistance because the market tried to move above that line and stalled, which is the highs there. And now we are coming back to test that same level. So I think around here, if that stalls, that's another sell signal in the market. So that is your second line. Third line, which is this line connecting the previous break that we drew. So there's 3 lines. Just like the previous hourly chart for the Nifty, we can see that all these points are coming in contact exactly where the market is trading close to the end of this session here, which means that even if you were to say, okay, I'm waiting for the market to clear resistance, now keep in mind the market is full of tricks. The market could easily open the day above that line and immediately at some point roll over to look something like that. The moment we see uniform activity rejection on that line, which was the previous break line here, then that is where you'd know that the market is trying to trick you. Now I can adjust this slightly because maybe you're wondering where I'm getting that line. You take a look at this break line here. There was a trend break somewhere there. Let me draw it this way. Trend break. This was in November. Now November break, slight break there. Now we can go, this was off the highs there. Market hasn't been back there, so that's how you know the line is legit. The market hasn't been able to move above that, and so we draw a line from here and extend it out. So the same line became resistance here for the highs there, and again resistance here with uniform action. In other words, it touched that line and stalled for the highs there, and we are coming back here. So guess what? You have to be very skeptical of what the market is trying to do. If the market can clear that red line and trade above that, good. At least now we are breaking out above the red line. But you have to be sensitive to those lines. So let's draw the line again. There's the resistance line there. That's one line. There's a line coming back from the previous highs. Oops. So let me draw that again, sorry. And I apologize for the lengthy video, but just want to explain this. So we are coming back. There's line number 1. Let's change colors here, go to line number 2. Something like that, right? And what I'm doing is connecting the high there. This line goes back to the highs somewhere there, and also the slight node there. There was a slight node in October. So that line extension, in fact, I need to correct that because that doesn't. Let's do it again. So you know what, let's go back and take a look at a 2 year. This is a 1 year week, 1 year daily. Let's take a look at a 2 year daily so we can get this right. So bear with me. And so what I'm trying is going back to this high here in the RSI, and I'm gonna draw a line connecting this high and this slight node somewhere there, and I'm gonna adjust it just slightly so that it can give me this sell signal point here, because I know this was a tricky point in the market. So I want to see whether it can hit that line, and it's gonna look something like that right there. And you can see that what I'm getting at here is that now this could be a trap. Yes, the market has moved slightly above that blue line, but any move back below that line and this market stalls. Now, so let's go back to that 1 year daily because that gives us a better view. Keep in mind today the market is having a nice move as the market moves above RSI 50 on the daily. So keep that in mind. This is important because if indeed we do get a reversal around here, you want to almost position yourself short because the next move could be for the market moving back below 50. As the market moves back below 50, we might get a reaction or trade to the downside. It might be a big down day, maybe 2-3%, maybe 1% down, but it's going to be a big down day. Just like the last time we had a big down day was when the market moved below 50 here, which was during this period at the beginning part of 2016. Okay, so what I'm getting at here, given all the resistance lines, and I'll draw them again, is if the market was to reverse around here, it would be for downside action because it would also be moving below RSI 50. Interpretation there is you want to be looking to take short positions before that cross below 50, because the cross below 50 is going to be profitable for anybody who was already positioned short. Now, so we draw a line from the previous highs, and it's going to look something like that, right? So even though here we don't show it clearly, but you can also see that if the market was to recover back below and look like that, that's going to be another sell signal if it's back below the blue line. And keep in mind we also discussed the backtest line coming back from the lows here. So all those points come in contact exactly where the market is closing today. So rather than to be looking for a reason to enter the market, I believe all these charts are telling us this is a reason to go short the market. Just like now, if we go back to that Nifty hourly chart in conclusion, all right, let's go back to the Nifty hourly, and we are going to go back here. So what we are saying is when the market broke slightly, albeit very slightly, broke above this blue line there, if you really did all the lines and tried to find what this meant, you would have seen that there was a good chance, since this was a break line off the break there, that this was a trap zone. And if you took that view and were looking for reasons to be short, at this particular point, one was initiating short positions. Now remember, we are looking at this at a very concentrated time frame. So if you expand this, say on a weekly chart or on a monthly chart, you might get a trade that might take place over a couple of days, couple of weeks. So this is micro analysis, but with the hope that by understanding the intricate details, we can understand how to take a look at big picture events and big picture situations. So in my opinion, maybe we'll look back in this situation in 1 or 2 weeks after time has passed. Maybe this is a trap zone for those who are going long. We shall see. Eric Muaded, muaded.com. As always, good luck, peace, and blessings. EACS.